guys, it's Caleb from KCND Studios, and today I'm going to be saying my changed thoughts and opinions on the movie that came out last year, Godzilla 2014. Now, we all know and love this movie, and when this movie came out, I reviewed it for the very few people that were subscribed to my channel when I reviewed this film. In fact, I believe that was like my third video I ever made on this channel. Good times. But so yes, my thoughts have changed. Sadly enough to say, I've lost the hype that this movie has given me since then, although I still love it. But let me just get into my thoughts on the film. So the story, it was an interesting story. I personally felt like it was it felt very different than a lot of other stories. As much as it was made to be related, kind of like a summer blockbuster thriller type of movie like Jaws and Jurassic Park is what everyone's been saying. It didn't really feel like those movies to me, to be honest. And that's good, though. I have to say that it's not this. It's got its own feeling, and that's what. So I'm very choppy today. I kind of not good at talking today, but it's good when movies have their own feeling to it, which make you want to go back and watch it again. But the story, I personally felt like it was, somewhat choppy at certain times, but I mean, it's forgivable if you know and accept that it was made by multiple different writers. Actually, from the beginning, it was like they made up multiple different ideas, and they changed the ideas multiple times because they had to change writers throughout the film, which is something I'm glad to say we're not going to have to worry about in Godzilla 2018. But yeah, let me just talk about the bad things of this film that I didn't like. The characters, yes, some of them weren't interesting. Aaron Taylor Johnson, I mean, honestly, if you're watching it, it's not that bad. I mean, he's a soldier. He's kind of just doing what he's told. Doesn't have to say that much. It's not Aaron Taylor Johnson's fault. I'd say it's Max Bornstein's fault for not giving him a interesting enough character, but you can't win everything. And Elizabeth Olsen did all right. Not a huge character. I mean, I guess she was, but I don't know. Ken Watanabe. A lot of people, at first, everyone loved this character. Everyone's all on the hype train with Ken Watanabe. Yes, he's awesome. And now recently people are starting to say, well, he was more of just a kind of a guy who's watching, saying what's going on kind of thing. Me, personally, Ken Watanabe is an awesome actor. If you've seen him in Inception, he's fantastic. He's pretty much one of the main characters in Inception. But this film, again, he wasn't given that much character, but I liked him better than Aaron Taylor Johnson because you could see how he was affected by everything that was going on. He was kind of like the stand back and watch, say, let them fight kind of guy. Kind of the old wise guy around. That's what I felt like he was. But I liked his character. And then this is something that I've been wanting to talk about a lot, was Bryan Cranston's character. So Bryan Cranston, yes, everyone loved him at the beginning until he died. And pretty much, I guess, the beginning, middle of the movie, that is, everyone just got so mad that Bryan Cranston died. in the movie. Like he was the best character in the movie. Um, you know what? He honestly, first of all, he wouldn't have done that much to the rest of the story. Maybe the rest of the franchise, but or like the rest of the trilogy, which there's most likely going to be a Godzilla Legendary trilogy. But honestly, this movie was made to be a single movie. Gareth said it at the beginning. He wasn't planning on making other movies. This is going to be all about this movie. And I gotta speed this up because I'm already like halfway into the video. But Bryan Cranston also, there's a thing called casting, guys, and usually you write the characters before you cast the story. And Bryan Cranston, like, they didn't choose Bryan Cranston to be this character before they wrote the story, okay? That's not how movies are made. So, I know I can understand why people are so mad about, like, so frustrated about this. But then again, honestly, just kind of, I mean, get over it. I'm sorry, but, look, that's how movies are made. And they didn't make this movie for Bryan Cranston. They made it for Godzilla. And that's another thing. So now that we're done with the characters, another character I liked a lot was the Navy general. He was another great character in this movie. But let's go on to the monsters. So the Mutos. Before those figures were released, there was a lot of speculation of what these monsters would be like. People were thinking they were going to be burrowing monsters. I guess they kind of were burrowing monsters, but, skin hide monsters, like reptilian creatures. There's even one that looked like bacon. I remember this image, or this supposed movie leak about Godzilla fighting a monster that looked a lot like bacon. And what was his name? Teligari? I don't remember. But lots and lots of speculation on this film, and the hype was just lots of hype for this movie before it came out. And then when I saw it on, they released the Pack of Destruction figures, and that was our first look at the monsters. And someone told me about it. I was like, oh my gosh, are you for real? And they're like, yeah. I looked at it. Honestly, I was kind of like, oh, that fits the description, because there was a description about the monsters saying that they looked kind of like a cross between the alien queen from Alien versus Predator, a gorilla, and all this other stuff, a bug, spider, lots of speculation. And I was like, well, that does fit the description, but honestly, I wasn't too excited about the monsters beforehand. I was kind of like, oh. And I was hoping it would be different in the movie. Now, they've grown on me. I like the monsters. I like how they move, though. I love their roars. And then there's Godzilla. So, moving from Muto to Godzilla. Godzilla looked fantastic. If only he could have more of a part in this film. I mean, more screen time. The Mutos already... I cannot talk today, can I? The Mutos obviously got more attention, screen time than Godzilla did, which, we're going to have plenty more Godzilla in the future. Luckily, this wasn't a standalone film, and there's going to be more movies after this. But honestly, that would be the only, scenes of the monster that we get. The only footage of the monsters, the Mutos, that we'll get before, for the rest of, I guess, our experience as kaiju fans. This is the only film that the Mutos are going to be in, most likely. And you know, if you see where I'm going here, this is the only. I just cannot talk today. This is all that we're gonna get of the Mutos, and if I can understand you saying, well, we're not here to watch it for the Mutos, we're here to watch it for Godzilla. I can understand, but I mean, at least the Mutos were decent monsters, and they got enough screen time. Like, unlike Orga. Orga is an awesome monster, but he was only in so much of Godzilla 2000. He was mostly in his spaceship form the whole time. And, yeah, that final battle was fantastic. Godzilla's design, amazing. His roar, all the roars, just amazing. The soundtrack to the movie, very good. Probably not as good as Akira Kufube's, but, you can't always get what you want. But, I liked the soundtrack. I liked it. And my biggest gripes with the movie was that the airport scene, they built up so much suspense. I was so excited until they just cut it off there. Beforehand, I was like, okay, well, we can just deal with it. Now, I'm like, oh, yeah, I kind of wish they showed a fight scene there. I mean, I really did. I wanted a fight scene there. Everyone wanted a fight scene, but all we got was the final battle, and the final battle was somewhat short, also. But I liked it. My favorite scene of the movie was probably the when Godzilla came and just busted through the Golden Gate Bridge. That was a very intense scene, and I really liked it. I also liked the Hawaii scene, but so yeah. And before this video ends, I just want to say my biggest complaint with this movie. As great as it was, and as interesting it was that they did this, they teased Godzilla as a very menacing, evil-looking character and monster, and we just did not get that. We got a giant Godzilla, or giant beast that's walking over buildings, swimming under ships, even got named Savior of Our City. I mean, look, that doesn't really show any respect to 1954, to be completely honest. I mean, it does not work for me. And most other people's complaints are going to be there wasn't enough screen time. This is mine. I wanted a dark, evil Godzilla like GMK 1984, 1954. That's not what we got. And they did go a little bit at nuclear, the result of nuclear tests. They did go into that, and that was one good thing about the movie that I liked. But yeah, so not my favorite Godzilla movie, but it made into my. I mean, it's not a bad Godzilla movie. I also love the suspense that they built up into this movie. But yeah, so good movie. Probably wouldn't make my top 10 Godzilla movies, but can't always get what you want. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Bye-bye.